All right, welcome to this little tutorial on how to set up the email client on an Allegro 2, an Archer 2, or a Mesa 1 Juniper rugged device. Um, we're going to set up Outlook.com or an Outlook um, email address on the unit today. We've been experiencing a lot of problems with Gmail, so we had to find an alternative through Outlook, and it seems to work pretty consistently. There are some flakiness to how you set it up, and you might have to repeat a few steps in order for it to take, but we'll go through and we'll step by step through this thing. The first thing you're going to want to do is enable your uh, internet connection. I'm using Wi-Fi today. And as soon as you know that you have an established connection, I usually come over here to Internet Explorer and I'll hit a website that I know that I should be able to hit every time. And it's just junipersys.com. Obviously, it's our own website. It doesn't have a whole lot of certificates on this site, so this web browser that's on the Allegros kind of has a hard time with the newer websites. So I hit something kind of light and easy, and usually you can see it does have an internet connection now, so we can proceed through. The other thing I like to do is after I've done that, I'll go into the task manager and I will end that task on the Internet Explorer. Just because you closed out of it doesn't mean that it's not running anymore. So I go ahead and I close that out. The next thing we're going to do is go into the email client and we're going to set up the email. But before we do that, I wanted to come out to the web and log on to Outlook.com using my my little test that email I created for this, and wanted to send myself an email just to make sure that I have something in the box and that you guys all know that it's working. So once it gets set up, I'm going to come over here to my Gmail account that I have set up also. So I'm emailing just from one email to another. This is my Mesa Outlook, and this is just a test to the Allegro 2. And it should end up on the Allegro 2. Okay, we're going to send that off. We'll come over here to Outlook, make sure that it drops in the inbox, and usually it doesn't take that long. It takes about 30 seconds to come over here. Today it's taking a little bit longer, it seems. We'll just wait to make sure that it's in there now. So it just popped in, and so we know that we have something in our Outlook account. Close that. Now we are just going to log out of our Outlook account just to make sure that it's not going to hang up by us trying to connect to it. So we are logged out. I'm going to close that, minimize that. We'll bring up our Allegro again. And now we'll step through setting up the email client on the Allegro. So tap on the Allegro. We'll do Mesa 1, and Outlook.com. Obviously, by the time we have this posted, I'll change my password. And here is where I will just accept the default. So I just want to get the settings from the internet automatically. I don't try to do any pop settings. We'll just go through and we'll let it try and get the settings itself. Sometimes it takes more than 30 seconds. I've seen it take up to a minute. And there are rare occasions where it does fail. If it does that, usually I typed in my password wrong. But if you're successful, it should say finished. Okay. And now we want to click next. And this is all the stuff that you want to sync from your account. Usually all I want is just the email, just to cut down on the data that's transferred back and forth. So all I want is the email, and I'll hit finished after that. Now, I may have to disconnect my Allegro from my computer, so the MyMobler is probably going to disappear, and then when it comes back, it will have the email messages. But I'll try it right here. Sometimes MyMobler gets in the way of the send and received, and it causes problems. So we'll give it a try right here, and if it doesn't come through within the next couple seconds, then I'll go ahead and I'll pause it, or I'll jump out. I'll pull off my connection to MyMobler, and ideally you won't have your Allegro hooked up to your computer at all. So it's taken a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and just stop this. I'm going to close it out, and I'm going to disconnect from MyMobler. And what I'm going to do is kind of basically the same steps I was going through. I'm going to hit the task manager. I'm going to come over. I'm going to close my Outlook. I know you can't see this, but then I'm going to go back into my email client. I'm going to tap on my Outlook that I created and essentially do what I just did. Do a send and receive, and I'm going to wait for my stuff to come back through. And it did. And so all I'm going to do is connect my Allegro back up. And you'll see here in a second, after I start up my Mobler again, that there it is. My Randall Wright test to the Allegro 2 came through. Should end up on the Allegro 2. That's the same thing that we sent from my Gmail account. So now that it's all hooked up and you're ready to go. Hopefully this is pretty easy and straightforward. I hope that it helps out, and you can always give us a call and we'll try to walk you through some of the different scenarios. Thanks for your time.